Hello everybody, my name is Jalise. Welcome everybody to my 10-year anniversary of the Borgias TV show. Now, the Borgias is a Showtime show made from 2011 to 2013. It's a 10-year anniversary, or maybe I missed a mark, but either way, I want to celebrate 10 years of this amazing show. This show lasted for 3 years. It was canceled way too soon, and then it is an incomplete show. This entire show was supposed to have 4 seasons. Instead, it had 3. Now, what is the Borgias about? Well, the Borgias is based off the original crime family. In 1492, Pope Alexander had a young Pope Alexander who was named Rodrigo Borgia. He gets control over Italy, of Rome. And the thing is, though, he's put certain family members of him, certain family members in Rome, to be in charge. His son he puts as a cardinal to become a future pope. He has his son Juan Borgia, who he wants to put in command of the papal army. He wants a goal. And what is Rodrigo Borgia's goal? What is this crime family's ultimate goal? The ultimate goal is ultimate power. So the Borgias could rise in the ranks, and they could be, as Jeremy Irons, who plays Rodrigo Borgia, says, we will rebuild Rome. It shall shine beneath us as it did the Caesars. So he's trying to rebuild it to his glory days Rome, and he wants the world to thank it. He wants the world ahead of the entire world to acknowledge the Borgias and what they did for Rome. Now, why is the Borgias famous? Well, I got into the Borgias because I played Assassin's Creed 2. Rodrigo Borgia, Cesare, they were the villains of the series for the Ezio trilogy. So I'm like, who is this family? And I looked them up. I learned about the history about them. I love the history about them. Made a show, and this show is just utterly fantastic. And here are the main 3 actors: Jeremy Irons, who plays Rodrigo Borgia, Francis Arnold, who's Cesare Borgia, and Holiday Granger is Lucrezia Borgia. Now, what's the thing with the Borgias? Why are they the most vilified family of all time? It's because they said, since, the church, the Pope, and, they're supposed to be holy. They're supposed to be devout to God and everything. And the Borgias, they brought sin upon the church and all this stuff. So to make it scandalous. The actual reality is, Rodrigo Borgia, while he was corrupt, while he did terrible things, and his son did terrible things, they did also a lot of good stuff. And we're really looking at it from evil to evil. The reason why the Borgias get so much hate is because they were Spaniards in an Italian place. Rodrigo Borgia wasn't originally from Italy. He was from Spain. So he came from Spain and he came to Italy. That's the true story behind it as to why the Borgias are so hated, because they were Spaniards. And these Spaniards did a lot more. Like, they were, if you're looking at for a unified Italy of like back then, because there were different papal states, and there was different families that Italian families, the Orsini, the Medici of Florence, the Sforzas. They all were these vast Italian families that were always fighting against each other for power, and they were also had family members who in the papacy who basically wanted power. They wanted to become pope, but they lost to a Spaniard in Rodrigo Borgia. And so a lot of stuff in history with that I find that the Borgias are ridiculed at. Some of the Italian families did just as bad as the Borgias, or even worse. The thing is with Rodrigo Borgia, what made him different in many cases, and his family, he was open to the fact that he had children. A man of the cloth, the future the Pope of Rome, admits that he has children. He doesn't call them bastards, because back then, if you that was scandalous to acknowledge that you had a child out of wedlock. And he admitted, these are my children. Their mother was a former courtesan, a former whore, hooker, whatever you want to call her. And he established this family. And I always found this character very interesting throughout history. And I loved his family's history in the history books. I really enjoyed the show. Now, again, it's Hollywood. They got to take some things over credit. Is this the most historically accurate show you're going to see? No, but it's not the worst, and it's definitely a very entertaining show. What I wanted this show to be about was to really explore who the Borgias were, what it was Cesare, how Niccolo Machiavelli made a book, he got inspiration from Cesare Borgia about the prince of what could be, and Cesare Borgia is an example of a prince in Machiavelli's eyes. You got Holiday Granger playing Lucrezia Borgia. Her steps of having a husband and then being tossed around from one husband to another, and then how basically Rodrigo Borgia used his own children to create alliances like all monarchs did in the past. And what is ultimate goal of the Borgias? And the ultimate goal of the Borgias was to have a kingdom, to make a monarchy. And I absolutely love the Borgias. I love the Borgias for, well, I don't love the people themselves, but I was always fascinated and love the characters. I always loved the history. I always loved Rome, the Renaissance. What's not to love? And in this show, it was just phenomenal. You have Katerina Sforza. This is probably the best interpretation of Katerina Sforza you're ever going to get. She's a Tigress of Forli, a famous female fighter, strategist, woman who was, as they call her, the Tigress of Forli. And she stood up against the Borgias. She stood up against a great many things. She's dealt with a lot of hardship in her life. If you look up the history of this woman is stone cold, sharp, could be very vengeful. Like, if you think some people are like the Borgias are bloodthirsty, she's just as bloodthirsty. This show was phenomenal. And this show was canceled ahead of its time. It was canceled too soon because it was too expensive. The person who made this TV show is called Neil Jordan. He made the Interview with the Vampire and The Crying Game. Two great movies. Definitely check them out also. And Neil Jordan did a fantastic job with the Borgias TV show. And again, this whole thing about the Borgias, about this original crime family, about this Italian family who's trying to just take control over Rome and to have their family united and to deal with the struggle of the vast Italian families, the old Italian families coming after them and trying to take them down. Now, there is a Netflix show, Borgia. That one, it's, let's just say there are some good moments of that Netflix show, but the problem is, let's just say Lucrezia is not a great ad. Lucrezia, what they did with her character, not that great. Juan Borgia, no. And forced incest, and yes, there's something called forced incest, and we gotta talk about this. There's an instant love story between Cesare and Lucrezia. And it's always been about, like, oh, the reason why, like, all throughout, like, media, they always put these characters, they loved each other, they're incest couple, and they've had it since Assassin's Creed 2, they had it in other various TV adaptations, but in the Netflix show, they kind of make it feel forced. But in the TV show, like the Showtime, you could tell instantly in the first episode that they are close, and it's an extreme uncomfortable close. But at the end of the day, I didn't mind them together. That's something I could even say, because the only two of them I would actually like together at the end, even though they're brother and sister, which is the most effed up thing. But the actors did a great job with their chemistry with each other, that I believed these characters loved each other. I believed in their love. In the Netflix show, it just felt, hey, this is a last minute thing, the plot line, so might as well do that at the end. But overall, The Borgias is just an amazing show. This is a show that should have been appreciated for its time, and it was made in 2011 to 2013, 2014. I'm not 100% sure the end date. I know it only lasted 3 seasons because I have the freaking 3 seasons, and I gotta say this, I just love the show. I cannot tell you how much I love the Borgias, the actual history of them, and basically what I loved about this entire show. We got Caterina Sforza, Micheletto, the assassin. Such great storytelling right here. Again, it's not the most historically accurate show, but if you're looking for a show that truly inspired what the Borgias wanted to be and who they eventually became at the end of the day, you're going to get here. If you want the better acting ones, here. You want the better costume designs, it's here. Better action is here. Now, is it some of the... now, are certain characters, are certain portrayals better in other movies and TV shows? Probably. But the Borgias, to me, on Showtime, was just phenomenal. And I would love to see if they could make it into a movie, but I highly doubt it. I highly doubt Neil Jordan's going to get the rights for that one, even though it's been 10 years later. I would love to see an adaptation of the Borgias for a 4th season or a TV movie. I don't care if it's in subtitles. I would just love to see it. But the Borgias, phenomenal. But that's my personal opinion, everybody. What did you all think of The Borgias? Think it was a great show? Think it was a terrible show? What is your personal opinion about the original crime family in the Showtime show? Did you think the actors did a great job? You like the guy who played Cesare? You think the other guy who played Cesare was better? Do you like Holden Granger as Lucrezia Borgia? Do you like the other actress that was on the Netflix show? Please let me know what you all think, everybody, about The Borgias. 10 years. I know it's been 10 years, not a lot of people are going to see this video, but I will always appreciate, I always make videos to just say what I feel and to show my appreciation for TV shows and movies that should never ever truly be forgotten, because they tell great stories, and it's stuff that's really remembered these days is not really worth remembrance or remembering. But to me, The Borgias is a show you should remember, and The Borgias is a TV show that you should definitely check out. So The Borgias 10-year anniversary. Happy I made this video. Happy I rewatch a lot of episodes. So what's your personal opinion, everybody, of The Borgias? You think it's a great show? You think it's a terrible show? Please let me know what y'all think, everybody. I'm Jalise. God for everybody. Bye.